So we got a quick video. Is boxing effective in street fighting? Now, of course, every type of martial art can be effective in the streets. Okay. Now it depends on what do you classify as effective. It's effective in the way that you know how to cover distance, right? How to use your distance, how to extend your punch at the distance that you're at so that you don't have to step in too much so that you don't get countered with anything else in a street fight. Also, it's effective as in the footwork is better than, let's say, a regular Joe from the street, right? Or regular Joe usually. But this is also an advantage to the regular Joe because the regular Joe is not going to think of what technique should I use. Is the other guy going to do this or that? The regular Joe is just going to come in swinging at you like crazy, right? Usually haymakers. And the positive thing about that for the Joe is that he's not waiting, expecting nothing. He's just going in with full adrenaline. And you know what? I've heard stories of fighters that were either MMA fighters or boxers, but mostly MMA fighters that just got randomly caught in the chin from regular Joes in street fights. Because what a fighter usually does, including a boxer, is we expect, right? We think it's a boxing ring, like we're used to. Okay, this guy is gonna throw a jab, I'm gonna throw an overhand right, or this guy's gonna come in, I'm gonna check hook him. But in a street fight, it's the street. Like this guy can even kick your balls, and then eye gouge you, So it doesn't really apply what we learn for, let's say, for in the ring to outside in a street fight. But we can use the same principalities, which the number one, which I suggest to people is, so when you're boxing, for example, you learn to cover and use distance to your advantage, right? Whether you're short or tall. If you're a tall fighter and you have more lankier arms, of course, I'm gonna tell you use your reach and distance to your advantage so nobody can come in, right? Boom, boom, on the outside, right? Boom, boom, on the outside. And now if you're a shorter fighter, let's say, I would advise the same thing, but closing the distance to your opponent, right? So it's more movement, more stepping in, more, more footwork. Now, in a street fight, same applies, okay? So you use a distance to, boom, if you're taller, hey, dude, I'm sorry, boom, and then you start using your distance to your advantage, jab back, step back, but never, if you're tall, never play the game or never get into the short man's fight. You use the height and the distance to your advantage, especially in a street fight, because street fights have absolutely no rules. So it could be one, and you can fall to the ground to cement and concrete. You can hit your head, and it's going to be game over for either you or the opponent. But of course, now we're thinking about our safety, right? How we can use boxing to our advantage. So the distance, most important and number one. And how can you cover this distance? If somebody's coming to you aggressively, you're gonna go in your boxing position, like how you have your hands in the stance, but you're not gonna be like showing aggressiveness, because you want to be smart in the streets. You're not just gonna be like, yeah, let's go. You want to play smart. Okay, the best defense and the best effectiveness of boxing in a street fight or any other martial art is to disengage the fight. Hey, dude, I'm sorry. You're right. Even if they're not right, hey, you're right. Be the mature person and just apologize, even if it's not your fault. I had to do this many times. Sorry, dude. You're right. God bless you. That's it. Also, though, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna go through that approach, you also never want to let your eyes off the opponent or the whoever the hell you're speaking to on the street. So sorry, dude. Okay, have a good one. You always want to be aware of your surroundings, especially in the streets, because like we said, there's no rules, there's no regulations, there's no techniques. It's just fighting to the death. So the distance, right? So hey, sorry, dude, you go to your stance. sorry, man. So you never have them balled up. You just, sorry, man, sorry, sorry. And if you see the aggressor is, keep trying to fuck with you, sorry, dude, sorry, boom, boom, 1, 2. Or you could just throw, boom, a jab from here, like, I'm sorry, dude, bam. Okay, this takes the focus off your opponent from worrying about fighting, because when you're like this, it's more like a defensive look. So you're looking like you're passive, like defense. Like, hey, dude, I'm sorry, bam, bam. So it's a surprise. It's coming in as a surprise, the punches. Okay, and then you can throw a bunch of other combos, but that's just one example. Now, another way you use boxing in a street fight, besides the footwork, right? Besides using your distance, is you want to feint. Okay, feints are very important. Why are they very important? Like we said before in the beginning, in a street fight, you cannot never know what the other guy is thinking, what he's gonna throw, how he's gonna throw it, when he's gonna throw it, the timing, the distance. You don't know how the other guy, you don't even know the other guy. The other guy could be a professional kung fu master. I don't know. You get what I'm saying? He could be anything, okay? And in the streets, there's no rules. So he as well as you can use and cheat through many moves, okay? So anyway, how? So when you're feinting, right? So say I'm in a discussion with Joe Schmo here, okay? And Joe Schmo is, acting, and he hasn't come to my circumference yet, but he's close though, right? Boom, 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 boom. He's speaking. I can just feint and grab him, right? So just feint, grab. Okay. Now this is in boxing, but the move that we're using that comes from boxing is the feint. So if you do not want to destroy somebody or take the risk of killing them or seriously damaging them on concrete, because usually that's where street fights happen, you feint, right? You don't even throw the punch. You can feint, grab him, finish it, drop him, whatever. Or what you can do is you can feint a punch, right? So feint and come with an overhand, for example. There's many examples, but that's what I would do. I would feint, overhand, and then get it over with. Okay, so feints are very important. Now this also goes for other martial arts, if you're into other martial arts. So let's say you're a kickboxer, right? Muay Thai fighter, even grappler. This is very good for grapplers in a street fight. So if you're like a Muay Thai fighter, you could just bam, okay, come in, or you can act like you're gonna maybe like throw a punch and boom, throw a kick, right? So, or like you can act like you're gonna throw a knee. The other guy probably not gonna know what the fuck is going on. He's just gonna look down, and from looking down, you can either counter with another with the opposite leg. So you feint like the right and come with the left, or you can feint like a leg and Superman it. It's the street. There's no rules, no referees, so you could do anything really. And the third way boxing can be used effectively in the streets, man. In the streets. Guess how boxing can be effective. Momentum. So when you're in a street fight, right? Somebody's coming towards you, and a lot of people don't think like this. Me, I used to think like this since a while ago, since I was very young, but I never had training partners to actually train this with, because the training partner also has to have the same mentality as you. But if somebody's coming to me, right? I know how the body is supposed to twerk when I'm, like how my limbs are supposed to move and flow. Like when I'm throwing a punch, how my knee is connected to my quad, and then boom, it's kinetic energy, right? So if somebody's coming to me like as an aggressor like this, okay, as this person is coming to me, all I can do, and I've done this in a street fight, guys, this is like certified, like I've done this and I've knocked someone down in a street fight. Thankfully, wasn't really hurt, but I used basically the kinetic energy of my body as this guy was coming towards me to throw him off. And I didn't even punch that hard. It was just the energy, the way I swung my body. This dude was directly coming to me, and I just threw like a stepping hook. So it was like a boom like this, and this dude just fell. Okay, so it's using your kinetic energy, it's using the momentum of your body, right? So, and the momentum of the opponent's body. So for example, this is my example that happened, like I said. So I had this guy I was in a fight with. He was on a bicycle, and whatever, we get to it, right? We speak a little bit, he speak a little disrespectful, I felt disrespected. So what I did was I engaged, I started the fight because this guy he was very cocky, let's say, okay? He thought he could eat me up, like he thought he was somebody. So I pushed him, dude got pushed, dropped the bike, dropped his backpack. He was looking in his backpack. So as he was looking in his backpack, I was telling other people like, yo, this dude is about to pull out a knife or something. But I was backing up. I was like, yo, he about to pull out a knife. And this guy, he heard me. He said, no, I'm not gonna do that. And then he stood up. And as he stood up, this dude was a walking dummy, guys. He was a walking boxing bag, because this guy was walking like this to me. Now, in a street fight, this right here, this is the most beautiful way you can come up to a fighter. This is, please knock me the fuck out. Please put me to sleep. Please take me to the cemetery. Please break something on me. This right here, the way people come up to you like this is the most beautiful, perfect timing, perfect boxing bag, perfect bob bag you can ever have. So this dude was walking just like that to me. He's walking, and I'm expecting him to throw something, some crazy, because we used to train boxing with this dude. I used to train this guy a little bit. So I knew he was strong. So he was coming just like this, and I'm expecting a punch. And as he's coming, guys, I use his momentum, I use mine. I take a step back, and I check hook him. But it was like one of them Russian check hooks, the ones that you step out like this. But instead of stepping out, I just stepped back and my foot went to the side, right? So I could just get more momentum to it. So imagine him walking, his cheekbone, and it landed on his cheekbone and went boom like this. So as he was stepping into it, I was stepping out, boom. He ate it cleanly, and from the fucking force, he just boom, bam, he just went down, guys. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, like I said, body mechanics, body maneuvers, like when we're boxing, when we're shadow boxing, for example, that's why we're saying shadow boxing should be used as a real fight simulator or a boxing match simulator. Of course, like we said, in a street fight, there is no rules. It's not just going to be hands. It can be feet. But if you get to the opponent before he gets to you, you can just throw 2 punches and it'll be good night. You can even just throw 1 punch, all right? But when we shadow box, for example, we want to use these little tweaks of stepping out, step out, step out. Or you could do, for example, right? Like this. One, and then back. One. And these little tweaks in shadow boxing will definitely be a big help in the ring and outside the ring. God forbid outside the ring. We never want to get into fights, especially purposefully, or just, because we think we're hot shit because we learned a little bit of boxing or a little bit of MMA, a little bit of kickboxing. We want to start acting like we're tough. Because guys, just so you know, I'm saying this as humble as possible. There's always somebody stronger and better than you, me, everybody, okay? And when we're talking about the streets, the number one best defense and the best effective martial art in the street is I am sorry. Finish. End of discussion. No fighting at all. No physical touching. Not even verbal. Just sorry, dude. You're right. My bad. I didn't mean it. Didn't want to do it. What's the issue? How can we fix it? The fighting comes last. Thank you guys. Hope this helped. And if you have any video ideas or anything fitness related that you want me to answer, please comment down below. And have a good one, guys. Boom.